there is no need to hurry anywhere. No destination waits beyond this moment. No clock asks anything from you. For a little while, you can simply drift. Perhaps you are listening from a quiet room illuminated by a small lamp. Perhaps rain is touching a distant window. Perhaps the world outside has already fallen asleep. And as the familiar sounds of everyday life slowly fade into the background, we can allow our attention to travel somewhere much farther away. Far beyond cities, beyond oceans, beyond mountains, beyond the thin blue atmosphere that surrounds our world like a delicate veil. Tonight, we will wander through one of the quietest ideas in all of science, the loneliness of space. Not loneliness as sadness, not loneliness as loss, but loneliness as distance, as silence, as vastness, as the extraordinary separation between objects scattered throughout the universe. Because when scientists look into the night sky, they do not merely see stars. They see immense intervals. They see enormous regions of darkness stretching between islands of light. And in many ways, the story of the universe is a story about emptiness. The stars are beautiful. The galaxies are magnificent. But most of existence lies between them. Silent, invisible, patient. If you could somehow leave Earth and travel upward through the atmosphere, the familiar sounds of wind and water would gradually disappear. The voices of billions would fade behind you. Clouds would drift beneath your feet. The oceans would become blue patterns. Continents would become shapes. And eventually, even the entire planet would shrink into a small sphere floating alone against an ocean of black. From far enough away, Earth appears isolated, a tiny oasis surrounded by incomprehensible emptiness. And yet, every human story has unfolded there. Every friendship, every dream, every memory, every ancient civilization, every song ever sung, all carried by a single world drifting quietly through space. There is something strangely comforting about that thought. The universe is vast, yet all life, we know, gathers together on one small island of existence. Perhaps that is why the night sky can feel both lonely and beautiful at the same time. It reminds us how small we are, and also how precious. Our first calm science fact is this: space is mostly empty. When people imagine the universe, they often picture stars packed closely together across the sky. But appearances can be misleading. The nearest star beyond our sun is more than 4 light years away. Light itself, traveling faster than anything else in nature, requires over 4 years to make the journey. The distances between stars are so enormous that ordinary intuition struggles to comprehend them. If our sun were reduced to the size of a small orange, the nearest neighboring star would still be thousands of kilometers away. Between them would be almost nothing. Not darkness as we experience darkness on Earth. Not empty rooms, not abandoned buildings, but true cosmic emptiness. A vast region where matter becomes astonishingly rare. In the silence of deep space, even loneliness acquires a different scale. The stars are not crowded companions. They are distant lanterns glimpsed across impossible oceans. And perhaps there is a lesson hidden within that distance. Even separated by immense emptiness, the stars still share the same universe. They still participate in the same cosmic story. Far beneath the surface of our own planet, another kind of loneliness exists. The deep ocean remains one of the least explored environments on Earth. Sunlight fades quickly beneath the waves. A few hundred meters below the surface, darkness begins to dominate. Thousands of meters down, entire landscapes exist beyond the reach of natural daylight. Creatures drift there in silence. Soft-bodied animals glow with bioluminescent light. Tiny flashes appear and disappear in black water, a moving constellation beneath the sea. Scientists sometimes compare deep oceans to outer space. Both environments are difficult to explore. Both contain extreme conditions. Both challenge human survival, and both possess a profound quietness. A jellyfish drifting through dark water may seem strangely similar to a distant galaxy suspended in darkness. Different scales, different realities, yet both remind us that nature often creates beauty within isolation. Long before modern science, human beings looked upward and wondered whether anyone else existed among the stars. Ancient observers watched constellations rise above deserts and forests. They watched planets wander across the night sky. They saw mysterious points of light moving according to patterns they did not yet understand. For thousands of years, people imagined that the heavens might be filled with life. And even now, despite centuries of scientific progress, the question remains unanswered. The universe contains billions of galaxies. Each galaxy contains billions of stars. Around many of those stars orbit planets. Some may possess oceans. Some may possess atmospheres. Some may possess conditions suitable for life. Yet so far, the cosmos remains silent. No confirmed message has arrived. No spacecraft has appeared from distant civilizations. No unmistakable signal has crossed the darkness. This mystery is sometimes called the Fermi paradox. If life may be common, where is everybody? Scientists continue searching. Radio telescopes listen carefully. Observatories scan distant worlds. Researchers study atmospheric chemistry on planets orbiting remote stars. But for now, the silence remains, and there is something unexpectedly peaceful about that silence. Not because it answers the question, but because it leaves room for wonder. Elsewhere in the universe, stars are being born. Inside giant clouds of gas and dust, gravity slowly gathers matter together. Over immense periods of time, regions become denser. Temperatures rise. Pressure increases. Eventually, nuclear fusion ignites. A star begins. Its first light spreads outward into surrounding darkness. Yet even newborn stars emerge into solitude. The cloud that created them may stretch across light years. Neighboring stars remain distant. The universe welcomes them not with crowds, but with space. Vast space, endless space, the kind of space that encourages patience. And perhaps that is one of the quiet lessons hidden throughout astronomy. Nature is rarely in a hurry. Galaxies rotate over hundreds of millions of years. Mountains rise over unimaginable spans of time. Species evolve gradually. stars shine for billions of years. The universe moves slowly, and in its slowness, there is a certain calm, a permission to rest, a reminder that not every journey requires urgency. Not every question requires an immediate answer. Sometimes existence itself unfolds like starlight crossing a dark and patient sea. As our journey continues, we will wander farther into that sea. We will visit forgotten moons, ancient stars, silent galaxies, frozen worlds, and lonely places where light itself travels for ages before finding another shore. For now, though, imagine the earth turning quietly beneath a blanket of night. Clouds drifting above sleeping oceans, moonlight touching empty fields, distant waves meeting distant beaches, a small world carrying billions of lives through an immense universe. Alone, perhaps, yet together, tiny beneath the stars, and somehow all the more beautiful because of it. The Milky Way is moving through space even now. Although the night sky appears steady and unchanging, everything within it is in motion. The Earth circles the sun. The sun circles the center of our galaxy. The galaxy itself drifts through the larger structure of the universe. Nothing remains completely still. And yet, because these motions unfold across immense distances and timescales, they often feel invisible. A person standing beneath the stars may feel rooted to the ground, but in reality, they are traveling through the cosmos at extraordinary speeds. The journey simply happens too smoothly to notice. There is something gentle about that. Movement without turbulence. Travel without effort. A voyage unfolding beneath every ordinary moment. Perhaps somewhere tonight, a lighthouse stands beside a quiet coastline. Its beam turns slowly across dark water. The ocean appears calm. The shore appears still. Yet beneath the surface, currents are moving. Tides are shifting. The entire planet is rotating beneath the stars. The universe often hides motion inside apparent stillness, and perhaps solitude can feel that way as well. What appears empty may still contain unseen journeys. Our next calm science fact is this: the nearest galaxy to our own is unimaginably far away. The great spiral known as Andromeda resides roughly 2.5 million light years from Earth. The light arriving from it tonight began its journey long before human civilization existed in its current form. Before cities, before modern languages, before recorded history as we know it. The photons entering a telescope tonight have crossed an enormous abyss. For millions of years, they traveled through darkness. No roads, no signs, no destinations, only distance. And eventually, after a voyage longer than humanity's entire story, they arrived. Scientists often study such light to understand the past. Looking farther into space means looking farther backward through time. Astronomy is a science of ancient messages. The universe does not communicate instantly. It whispers slowly, patiently, across epochs. And perhaps there is comfort in imagining those ancient beams of light, traveling faithfully through silence, never rushing, never turning back, only continuing onward through darkness. Far beneath the surface, in some of Earth's deepest trenches, another kind of ancient messenger exists. Tiny sediments settle onto the seafloor year after year, layer after layer. Dust from continents, fragments of shells, microscopic remains of organisms. Each layer becomes a page in a planetary archive. Scientists read those layers much as astronomers read starlight. Both reveal stories from distant times. Both preserve traces of vanished worlds. And both remind us how brief a human lifetime appears compared with the age of nature. The ocean floor waits quietly. The stars wait quietly. Time itself seems to move differently in such places, not measured in hours, not measured in days, but measured in ages. Long before any human looked through a telescope, stars were already living and dying. A star spends most of its existence converting hydrogen into helium through nuclear fusion. This process creates the light and warmth that radiate outward across space. Our sun has been doing this for billions of years. Every sunrise is part of a process older than nearly anything familiar to human experience. The sunlight touching your skin tomorrow morning began deep inside the sun. There, photons may spend thousands or even hundreds of thousands of years slowly working their way outward before finally escaping into space. A beam of sunlight feels immediate, but its story is ancient. Perhaps that is true of many beautiful things. Their origins often lie hidden beneath the surface, invisible, patient, quietly unfolding long before we notice them. Our next calm science fact is this: space is colder than almost anywhere on Earth. Far from stars, temperatures can approach only a few degrees above absolute zero. Absolute zero represents the coldest temperature theoretically possible, a state where atomic motion becomes extraordinarily limited. The darkness between stars is not merely empty, it is cold beyond ordinary imagination. No warm breeze drifts there. No ocean currents carry heat. No forests absorb sunlight. Only sparse particles and ancient radiation remain. Yet even in that coldness, beauty persists. Nebulae glow softly. Galaxies shimmer. Stars burn like distant embers. The universe has never required warmth to create wonder. Sometimes beauty survives within harsh conditions. Sometimes meaning emerges despite emptiness. A frozen landscape beneath moonlight can appear breathtakingly alive, not because it is crowded, but because it is still. Elsewhere in the universe, lonely planets wander without stars. Scientists call them rogue planets. Unlike Earth, they do not orbit a sun. Instead, they drift freely through interstellar darkness. Some may have formed around stars before being ejected by gravitational interactions. Others may have followed different paths entirely. Imagine such a world. No sunrise, no sunset, no bright daytime sky, only endless night. Perhaps thick clouds cover its surface. Perhaps hidden oceans remain beneath layers of ice. Perhaps darkness stretches across every horizon. Yet, even there, physical laws continue their work. Heat may rise from deep interiors. Chemistry may continue. Change may still occur. Loneliness does not stop existence. Even isolated worlds remain part of the universe. They continue their journeys whether anyone observes them or not. And perhaps there is something quietly reassuring in that. Not every meaningful process requires an audience. Some transformations happen entirely within darkness. Far beneath polar ice sheets, scientists have discovered hidden lakes sealed away for immense periods of time. These environments remain isolated from the surface world, separated, quiet, almost forgotten. And yet they persist. Life has often demonstrated remarkable resilience. Wherever energy and suitable conditions exist, biology finds surprising ways to endure. The universe frequently rewards patience. It often conceals extraordinary things in remote places, not at the center of attention, but at the edges, in forgotten corners, within silence. Our next calm science fact is this: black holes are among the loneliest objects known to science. Black hole forms when enough mass becomes concentrated within a small region of space. Its gravity grows so strong that not even light can escape beyond a boundary known as the event horizon. Despite their dramatic reputation, black holes spend much of their existence doing very little. Many drift quietly through the galaxy, invisible, silent, detectable only through their gravitational influence. A black hole does not shine on its own. It possesses no visible surface, no glowing atmosphere, only darkness. And yet scientists have learned that even these mysterious objects participate in the cosmic story. They shape galaxies, influence stars, bend space-time itself. Perhaps this offers another gentle reflection. Things need not be brightly visible to have significance. Some influences remain hidden. Some presences are subtle, yet they still matter. In the silence of deep space, the largest structures in the universe resemble vast webs. Galaxies gather into clusters. Clusters connect through immense filaments. Between them lie enormous cosmic voids. These voids are among the emptiest known regions of existence, millions of light years across, containing comparatively little matter. If a galaxy is an island, then these voids are oceans beyond oceans, expanses so enormous that ordinary language struggles to describe them. Yet even emptiness contributes to structure. The voids help define the shape of the cosmic web. Absence becomes part of the pattern, and perhaps life contains similar truths. What is missing often shapes what remains. Silence shapes music. Night shapes dawn. Distance shapes connection. The empty spaces matter too. Over millions of years, stars gradually consume their nuclear fuel. Eventually, many will transform into white dwarfs. These compact stellar remnants no longer generate energy through fusion. Instead, they slowly cool, very slowly, over spans of time so long that the future becomes difficult to imagine. A white dwarf can persist for billions upon billions of years, quietly radiating stored heat into surrounding darkness. Its brilliant youth behind it, its long twilight ahead. There is something profoundly peaceful about such an image, not an ending, not a disappearance, but a gradual fading, a slow release of warmth into the universe, like embers remaining after a fire, like evening arriving after a long day, like distant memories glowing softly within the mind. Far beneath ancient forests, roots communicate through vast underground networks of fungi. Scientists sometimes call these systems wood wide webs. Nutrients move through them. Signals pass between plants. Resources can be shared. Even seemingly isolated trees participate in larger relationships. Nature often reveals hidden connections. The universe may appear lonely, yet connections exist everywhere. Gravity links stars. Light links galaxies. Atoms link living creatures. The calcium within your bones originated inside ancient stars. The oxygen you breathe was forged through cosmic processes long before Earth existed. You are not separate from the universe. You are one of its expressions. A brief arrangement of stardust becoming aware of itself. And perhaps that thought can soften the loneliness of cosmic scale. The distances remain immense. The darkness remains vast. But we are not outside the story. We belong to it. As the night grows deeper, imagine a quiet observatory standing atop a mountain. The telescope dome opens slowly. Stars shine overhead. Cold air drifts across stone pathways. Inside, instruments listen to ancient light arriving from unimaginable distances. Outside, forests sleep beneath moonlight. Clouds move silently across valleys. And above everything, the universe continues its endless unfolding. Not hurried, not loud, not demanding attention, simply existing, patiently, beautifully, one star at a time. Our next calm science fact is this: most of the universe is dark, not merely dark because it is nighttime, not dark because a cloud has covered a distant star, but dark in a deeper sense. The vast majority of space contains no nearby source of illumination at all. On Earth, complete darkness is surprisingly rare. Cities glow, roads shine, windows flicker. Even remote landscapes often receive moonlight or starlight. Yet far from stars, darkness becomes something almost impossible to experience in ordinary life. An astronaut floating in deep space would find that the universe is not filled with a gentle blue haze. It is filled with profound blackness, an absence stretching beyond every horizon. And yet, strangely, darkness is not empty. Within darkness, galaxies continue their rotations. Planets continue their orbits. Atoms continue their subtle movements. The universe does not pause when unseen. It continues quietly. Perhaps much of existence unfolds that way, not beneath bright lights, not before audiences, but within unseen moments that still matter. Far beneath the ocean's surface, darkness behaves differently than it does on land. As sunlight descends through water, colors gradually disappear. Red fades first, then orange, then yellow. Eventually, only faint blue remains. And deeper still, even that vanishes. A diver entering such depths experiences a gradual surrender of familiar visual cues. The world becomes softer, simpler, more mysterious. Many deep-sea creatures have evolved to live entirely within this darkness. Some create their own light. Others navigate through subtle vibrations. Some drift almost invisibly through black water. The deep sea reminds us that life adapts, even in isolation, even in darkness, perhaps especially in darkness. Our next calm science fact is this: the night sky of ancient Earth looked different than it does today. The stars themselves move through the galaxy, not quickly from a human perspective, but steadily across immense periods of time. Constellations appear permanent only because human lives are brief compared with cosmic change. If you could travel tens of thousands of years into the future, familiar patterns would slowly transform. The outlines of constellations would shift. Ancient star maps would no longer match reality. New arrangements would emerge. Even the sky changes, only very slowly. There's something peaceful about realizing that permanence is often an illusion. The mountains change, the oceans change, the stars change, the universe itself evolves, and yet beauty remains present throughout those transformations. Perhaps change is not the opposite of stability. Perhaps change is stability, expressed over longer timescales. Elsewhere in the universe, enormous clouds of molecular gas drift through interstellar space. These clouds can stretch across hundreds of light years. Cold, sparse, quiet. Within them lie the ingredients for future stars and planets: hydrogen, dust, complex molecules, possibilities waiting patiently. From a distance, they appear almost motionless, but gravity is always working, slowly gathering matter, slowly reshaping structure, slowly preparing future worlds. Nature often begins its greatest creations in apparent stillness. A forest begins with a seed. A star begins with a cloud. An ocean begins with rain. The universe seems remarkably comfortable with slow beginnings. Our next calm science fact is this: the sound of space is silence. Because sound requires a medium through which vibrations can travel, the vacuum between stars remains largely silent. No wind blows across interstellar distances. No thunder rolls through the cosmic void. No waves crash against celestial shores. Movies often imagine dramatic explosions echoing through space. Reality is much quieter. A spacecraft drifting between planets would move through near total silence. Only the sounds inside the vessel would remain: the gentle hum of equipment, the circulation of air, the heartbeat of its occupants. Beyond the hull, nothing, just distance, just darkness, just the ancient stillness of the cosmos. And perhaps this silence is one reason astronomy feels so contemplative. The universe does not shout its secrets. It offers them softly, in patterns of light, in faint signals, in careful observations accumulated over generations. Knowledge arrives gradually, like dawn, like snowfall, like waves smoothing stone. Long before human beings built observatories, glaciers were shaping landscapes across Earth. Massive rivers of ice moved slowly across continents. Their motion was almost imperceptible from day to day. Yet, over thousands of years, they transformed entire regions. Valleys formed, mountains changed, lakes appeared. Sometimes, the most powerful forces move quietly. Sometimes, the greatest transformations happen slowly enough to seem invisible. The universe is full of such processes, and perhaps human life is as well. Our next calm science fact is this: time itself behaves differently in strong gravitational fields. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, gravity influences the flow of time. Near very massive objects, time passes slightly more slowly compared with regions farther away. This is not merely an idea. It has been measured experimentally. Even satellites orbiting Earth must account for relativistic effects to maintain accurate navigation systems. The universe contains no single universal clock. Time is woven into the structure of space-time itself. This realization changed humanity's understanding of reality, and yet it also carries a curious kind of beauty. Time is not rigid, not absolute, not entirely fixed. It bends, it stretches, it responds to the presence of matter and energy, like rivers flowing through landscapes, like wind moving through forests. Even time participates in the universe's subtle dance. Far above Earth's atmosphere, astronauts often describe a feeling known as the overview effect. Looking down upon the planet from space can alter perspective profoundly. National borders disappear, political divisions vanish. The planet appears as one interconnected world, fragile, bright, suspended within darkness. Many astronauts speak of feeling greater connection rather than greater separation. The farther they travel from Earth, the more unified humanity appears. Perhaps distance sometimes clarifies what closeness obscures. When viewed from enough perspective, individual differences become part of a larger picture. Like stars forming a galaxy, like drops forming an ocean, like moments forming a life. Our next science fact is this: neutron stars are among the densest objects in existence. When certain massive stars exhaust their fuel and collapse, they can leave behind remnants composed primarily of neutrons. These objects pack extraordinary amounts of mass into remarkably small volumes. A teaspoon of neutron star material would weigh billions of tons on Earth. Yet despite their density, neutron stars are often only a few dozen kilometers wide. Tiny on cosmic scales, immense in consequence. Some rotate hundreds of times each second. Others emit beams of radiation that sweep through space like celestial lighthouses. Scientists call these pulsars. From vast distances away, their signals arrive with astonishing regularity. A rhythmic pulse traveling through darkness, like a heartbeat within the galaxy, like a distant beacon continuing its work across millions of years. There is comfort in such persistence. The universe contains countless rhythms: ocean tides, planetary orbits, seasonal cycles, rotating stars, patterns repeating across different scales, reminders that order and beauty often emerge together. Far beneath desert sands, traces of ancient rivers remain hidden. Regions that appear empty today were once green landscapes. Animals lived there. Plants flourished there. Water flowed there. Time transformed them. The earth preserves memories beneath its surface. Astronomy reveals similar memories written in light. Every observation becomes a glimpse into another era. The farther we look, the older the story becomes. Perhaps that is why the night sky feels so reflective. It is filled with history, not human history, cosmic history, ancient beyond comprehension, and yet somehow visible from an ordinary backyard. Our next calm science fact is this: the sun is a relatively ordinary star. It is not the largest, not the brightest, not the hottest. Across the galaxy exist stars far more massive and luminous. Yet for life on Earth, the sun is everything. Its energy drives weather, supports ecosystems, powers photosynthesis, shapes the rhythm of days and seasons. An ordinary star becomes extraordinary through relationship. Its significance comes not from comparison, but from connection. Perhaps value often works that way. Things become meaningful not because they are the biggest or most impressive, but because they matter within a particular story. The sun matters because it is ours. The earth matters because it is home. A familiar voice matters because it is familiar. Meaning grows through connection, not scale, not distance, not prestige. As the night deepens, imagine standing beside a quiet lake beneath a sky full of stars. The water reflects scattered points of light. A gentle breeze moves across the surface. Trees remain still along the shoreline. Above, galaxies drift through unimaginable distances. Below, their reflections tremble softly upon the water. Two vastnesses meeting, one cosmic, one earthly, both silent, both beautiful, both reminding us that loneliness and wonder often occupy the same space. The universe is immense. The darkness is real. The distances are extraordinary. And yet, somehow, light continues to travel. Connections continue to form, and beauty continues to appear. Again and again, across oceans, across centuries, across galaxies, across the quiet reaches of the night. Our next calm science fact is this: every atom in your body has traveled a remarkably long journey. The hydrogen atoms within you were born not long after the beginning of the universe, long before planets existed, long before stars filled the darkness, long before oceans formed upon Earth. They emerged during the universe's earliest moments and have been traveling ever since. The carbon in your cells was forged inside ancient stars. The oxygen you breathe was created through stellar processes that unfolded billions of years ago. The iron within your blood originated in violent stellar deaths that occurred before our sun was born. In a very real sense, your body is assembled from cosmic history. The universe has been rearranging the same ingredients for unimaginable spans of time. Stars become dust. Dust becomes planets. Planets become oceans. Oceans become life. And life eventually looks upward and wonders where it came from. There is something profoundly gentle about this cycle. The universe does not create entirely new things so much as it reshapes existing ones. Again and again, matter travels, changes form, stories continue. Perhaps loneliness itself appears different when viewed through that lens. Nothing is entirely separate. Everything participates in longer journeys. Far beneath the surface of ancient caves, water slowly creates stone formations. Drop by drop, year after year, century after century, Tiny deposits accumulate into towering columns and delicate curtains of mineral crystal. The process unfolds so slowly that human perception struggles to notice it. And yet caves continue their quiet construction, patiently, without urgency. Nature often works this way. Its most beautiful creations emerge gradually. The stars evolve slowly. The continents drift slowly. Even galaxies change slowly. The universe seems remarkably comfortable allowing time to do the work. Our next calm science fact is this: the moon is gradually moving away from Earth. Every year, the distance increases by a few centimeters, a small change, almost imperceptible. Yet over millions of years, the effect becomes significant. Long ago, the moon appeared larger in the sky than it does today. Earth's rotation was faster. Days were shorter. The relationship between our planet and its companion has been evolving ever since. The moon has never been completely static. Neither has Earth. Neither has anything else. Even the most familiar features of existence are participating in slow transformations. Perhaps there is comfort in recognizing that change is not an interruption of reality. It is reality. The ocean tides rise and fall. Clouds form and dissolve. Forests grow and fade. Everything moves. Everything evolves. And yet beauty persists throughout the process. Elsewhere in the universe, some planets may experience sunsets unlike anything on Earth. Imagine standing beneath an alien sky where multiple suns sink below the horizon. Imagine clouds colored silver, violet, and deep amber. Imagine distant mountain ranges illuminated by unfamiliar stars. Astronomers have discovered thousands of planets beyond our solar system. Each one represents a possibility, a different environment, a different arrangement of nature's ingredients. Most remain beyond direct exploration, their landscapes unseen, their weather unknown, their horizons unvisited. There's a quiet loneliness in that. Entire worlds existing beyond our reach. Yet there is wonder as well. The universe remains larger than our understanding, and perhaps it always will. Our next calm science fact is this: comets spend much of their existence far from the sun. These icy travelers follow elongated paths that carry them into the cold outer regions of the solar system. For long periods, they drift through darkness, silent, frozen, distant. Then, occasionally, gravity guides them inward. Sunlight warms their surfaces. Ice begins to vaporize. Brilliant tails emerge. A faint object becomes a glowing spectacle visible across the sky. And then, eventually, the comet departs once more, returning to solitude, returning to darkness, returning to the long, quiet arc of its journey. There's something almost poetic about that rhythm. Periods of visibility, periods of obscurity, neither permanent, neither final, just different chapters within a longer voyage. Far across northern landscapes, winter sometimes transforms entire forests into realms of stillness. Snow absorbs sound. Branches hold layers of ice. The world becomes softer, quieter, slower. Footsteps fade into white silence. Even familiar places seem transformed. Astronomers often describe certain regions of space in similar terms: not because they contain snow, but because they possess a comparable stillness, a feeling of vast calm, a sense that time itself has become quieter. The universe contains many forms of silence, and each one invites reflection. Our next calm science fact is this: the center of our galaxy contains a supermassive black hole. This object, known as Sagittarius A, resides tens of thousands of light years from Earth. Its mass exceeds that of millions of suns combined. Yet, despite its immense influence, it remains distant, hidden behind clouds of interstellar dust, invisible to ordinary sight. Scientists study it using radio telescopes and sophisticated instruments capable of observing environments beyond normal vision. Even now, stars orbit around it, completing paths that require years or decades, entire systems responding to a hidden presence. The galaxy itself seems organized around something largely unseen. Nature often contains invisible structures. Gravity cannot be observed directly, yet its effects appear everywhere. Air itself remains invisible, yet every breath depends upon it. Some of the most important things in existence are known through their influence rather than their appearance. Perhaps meaning sometimes works the same way. Our next calm science fact is this: a single photon can travel for billions of years. Imagine a particle of light leaving a distant galaxy shortly after that galaxy formed. It begins its journey through expanding space. Millions of years pass, then hundreds of millions, then billions. Galaxies evolve, stars are born and die, planets appear, civilizations emerge. Still, the photon continues. Eventually, after crossing unimaginable distances, it arrives at a telescope on Earth, a tiny messenger from deep time, a traveler carrying information across ages. Astronomers collect countless such photons every night. Each one expands humanity's understanding of the cosmos. The universe communicates through light, slowly, patiently, across distances almost beyond comprehension. And perhaps there is comfort in knowing that messages can survive such journeys. That information can endure. That connection can persist despite extraordinary separation. Far beneath the ocean, hydrothermal vents release mineral-rich water into surrounding darkness. Around these vents, ecosystems thrive. Creatures live without sunlight. Instead, they depend upon chemical energy rising from Earth's interior. When scientists first discovered these environments, many assumptions about life had to be reconsidered. Nature proved more adaptable than expected. Life found pathways through conditions once considered impossible. The universe often surprises us this way. Again and again, possibilities emerge where certainty once existed. Unknowns remain where conclusions seemed complete. Mystery survives, not as a problem, but as an invitation. Our next calm science fact is this: the universe is expanding. Galaxies are generally moving away from one another as space itself stretches. This discovery transformed modern cosmology. The cosmos is not static, it evolves, Distances change, structures develop, the story continues. Imagine dots drawn upon the surface of a balloon. As the balloon expands, each dot moves farther from the others. The dots themselves need not travel across the surface. The space between them grows. In a simplified way, the universe behaves similarly. Expansion unfolds everywhere, quietly, relentlessly, across billions of years. There is something almost meditative about that image. The cosmos gently unfolding, not exploding outward into emptiness, but expanding internally, creating ever greater distances, ever greater horizons, ever greater opportunities for wonder. Long before modern science measured cosmic expansion, people watched rivers flow toward distant seas. The movement seemed natural, inevitable, part of the world's rhythm. Today we know that galaxies participate in equally vast currents of change, not through water, but through space-time itself. Everything belongs to larger processes. Everything participates in wider patterns. Our next calm science fact is this: some stars shine blue, others shine red. Their colors reveal information about temperature. Blue stars tend to be hotter, red stars cooler. White and yellow stars occupy different ranges between them. Night sky appears mostly white to human eyes because distant starlight often seems too faint for color perception. Yet telescopes reveal remarkable diversity. The galaxy contains countless shades of light, a cosmic garden of different suns, different histories, different futures, and perhaps this serves as another quiet reminder. Similarity often conceals diversity. From far away, stars appear nearly identical. Closer observation reveals uniqueness. The same may be true of many things. People, forests, oceans, moments. The deeper we look, the richer reality becomes. As this portion of our journey draws gently onward, imagine a lonely observatory standing upon a windswept plateau. Snow rests upon distant peaks. The air is clear and cold. Above, countless stars fill the darkness. Inside the observatory, a telescope turns almost silently toward a distant galaxy. Light enters its mirrors. Ancient photons complete journeys billions of years long. Data appears on quiet screens. Knowledge grows by fractions. Question by question, night after night. And beyond the observatory, beyond the mountains, beyond the earth itself, the universe continues its vast and patient unfolding. Galaxies drift, stars burn, planets turn, darkness stretches between them all. Yet somehow, amid all that distance, awareness has emerged. A small species upon a small world, listening, wondering, and finding comfort in the silence between the stars. Our next calm science fact is this: the oldest light we can observe has been traveling for almost the entire age of the universe. This faint glow is known as the cosmic microwave background. It fills all of space, invisible to human eyes, yet present everywhere. It is a remnant from a time when the universe was extraordinarily young. Not young in a human sense, not young in the age of civilizations, but young on a cosmic scale. When astronomers detect this ancient radiation, They are observing a kind of fossil light, a delicate echo from nearly 14 billion years ago, long before galaxies formed, long before planets existed, long before oceans reflected moonlight or forests whispered in the wind. The light has been traveling ever since, crossing expanding space, persisting through ages beyond imagination. There is something deeply peaceful about that persistence, a message that never hurried, a signal that never grew impatient, simply moving forward through the vastness of time. Perhaps many meaningful things travel in similar ways, quietly, patiently, without demanding attention. Far beneath layers of ancient rock, fossils sometimes preserve traces of creatures that vanished hundreds of millions of years ago. A shell, a leaf, a footprint, tiny records surviving immense spans of time. Scientists study these remains to understand worlds that no longer exist. Astronomers do something remarkably similar. Instead of examining stone, they examine light. Instead of digging downward through layers of earth, they look outward through layers of time. Both pursuits reveal the same truth. The past is never entirely gone. It leaves traces, fragments, whispers, and if we listen carefully enough, stories emerge. Our next calm science fact is this: Saturn's rings are surprisingly temporary. They appear eternal when viewed through a telescope, perfect arcs suspended around a distant world. Yet scientists believe the rings may not last forever. Tiny particles continuously interact with Saturn's environment. Material gradually changes. Structure slowly evolves. Given enough time, the rings may fade. The sight seems timeless. The reality is dynamic. This is often true throughout nature. A waterfall appears permanent, yet each drop is new. A forest appears stable, yet leaves fall and grow continuously. Even mountains change. Everything participates in motion. Everything belongs to a process. And perhaps beauty is not diminished by impermanence. Perhaps beauty is enhanced by it. The rings of Saturn are beautiful partly because they will not always exist exactly as they do now. A sunset is beautiful because it passes. A season is beautiful because it changes. Moments become precious because they move. Elsewhere in the universe, stars gather into enormous clusters. Thousands of stars can reside within a relatively compact region. Viewed from a planet inside such a cluster, the night sky might look astonishing. Brilliant stars could shine in every direction. Darkness might be harder to find. The heavens could appear crowded with light. And yet, even within these clusters, distances remain immense. Stars may seem close together, but space continues to separate them. The universe repeatedly reminds us that appearance and reality are not always the same. Things that look connected may be far apart. Things that appear distant may share deep relationships. Perspective shapes understanding, and understanding often deepens when we slow down enough to look carefully. Our next calm science fact is this: Earth itself is traveling through a stream of cosmic dust. Tiny particles drift through the solar system. Some eventually enter our atmosphere. Most are extraordinarily small, invisible to ordinary observation. Yet every year, thousands of tons of extraterrestrial material settle onto our planet. Minute grains from ancient asteroids, fragments from distant comets, dust older than civilization, perhaps older than Earth itself. Some of it lands in oceans, some settles onto deserts, some rests quietly upon mountain snow. The universe is not entirely separate from our world. It is continuously arriving, particle by particle, dust grain by dust grain. The boundary between Earth and cosmos is gentler than it first appears. We often imagine ourselves standing apart from the universe, but in reality, we are immersed within it, surrounded by it, shaped by it. Part of it, far across polar regions, snowflakes descend through silent air. Each one follows a slightly different path. No two form in precisely the same way. Tiny variations in temperature and humidity create unique structures. The result is astonishing diversity emerging from simple physical laws. Nature repeatedly demonstrates this principle. Simple rules, endless outcomes. Atoms become stars. Stars become planets. Planets become life. Life becomes consciousness. And consciousness wonders about its origins. The chain is extraordinary, yet it unfolds through processes both elegant and natural. Our next calm science fact is this: Mercury experiences some of the most extreme temperature variations in the solar system. During its long days, surface temperatures can become intensely hot. During its equally long nights, temperatures plunge dramatically. Without a substantial atmosphere to retain heat, the planet shifts between extremes. The same landscape experiences both blazing sunlight and profound cold. Mercury reminds us how much atmospheres matter. Earth's atmosphere softens conditions, distributes energy, protects life, creates clouds, weather, and breathable air. Often the most important systems are the ones we scarcely notice. We move through them every day, depend upon them continuously, yet rarely pause to appreciate them. The universe contains many hidden gifts, things so familiar that they become invisible. Fresh air, sunlight, gravity, water, the steady turning of the earth beneath our feet. Our next calm science fact is this: some galaxies are shaped like spirals, others resemble ellipses, some appear irregular and chaotic. Their forms arise through long histories of gravity, collisions, and evolution. The Milky Way itself is a spiral galaxy, a vast rotating structure containing hundreds of billions of stars. Seen from afar, it would likely appear serene, graceful, almost motionless. Yet within it, countless events unfold continuously. Stars are born, stars die, planets form, clouds collapse, radiation travels, everything changes. A galaxy can seem peaceful because its motions occur across immense scales. The same may be true of certain landscapes on Earth. A desert appears still, yet winds reshape dunes. Seeds germinate, animals travel. Life continues beneath apparent quietness. Stillness often contains movement hidden from immediate view, and movement often contains its own form of stillness. Far beneath Arctic ice, dark water flows through channels unseen by most of the world. The surface appears frozen, yet beneath it, currents continue their journeys. The ocean does not stop simply because it is hidden. Nature rarely stops. It merely changes forms. Our next calm science fact is this: the sun will not shine forever. One day, billions of years from now, it will exhaust the hydrogen fuel in its core. Its structure will change. Its outer layers will expand. It will become a red giant star. Eventually, after further transformations, it will leave behind a white dwarf. This future lies so far away that human imagination struggles to grasp it. Civilizations rise and fall in thousands of years. The sun evolves over billions. Its story unfolds on a vastly different scale. And yet, despite its eventual transformation, the sun's existence remains a gift. Every sunrise, every season, every growing forest, every ocean current, every breath supported by life on Earth, all connected to that star. Impermanence does not diminish significance. A thing need not last forever to matter deeply. Perhaps the opposite is often true. Our next calm science fact is this: many moons in the outer solar system possess hidden oceans. Beneath icy crusts, liquid water may exist in darkness. Worlds such as Europa and Enceladus have become subjects of intense scientific interest. Far below frozen surfaces, vast seas may move through eternal night. No sunlight reaches them. No blue skies hang overhead. Yet water remains. Energy remains. Possibility remains. The universe repeatedly reveals that life-friendly conditions can appear in unexpected places. Not always beneath warm sunlight. Not always upon Earth-like landscapes. Sometimes beneath ice. Sometimes near hydrothermal vents. Sometimes in environments once considered unlikely. The cosmos is often more imaginative than our assumptions, and perhaps hope works similarly. Possibilities often exist beyond the boundaries of expectation. As the night grows deeper and quieter, imagine standing upon a frozen plain beneath a sky filled with stars. Snow stretches to every horizon. Moonlight glows softly across the landscape. The air is cold and perfectly still. Above, the Milky Way arches across the darkness like a river of silver mist. Each star shines from its own distant place, separated by immense gulfs of space. Yet together they create something beautiful. A pattern, a presence, a reminder. Perhaps loneliness and connection are not opposites. Perhaps they coexist. Stars remain distant from one another, yet together they form galaxies. People remain separate individuals, yet together they create communities. Worlds drift alone through space, yet together they participate in a universe. And so the silence between the stars may not be merely emptiness. It may also be the space through which light travels, the distance that allows perspective, the darkness that reveals the glow, the quiet that makes wonder possible. And somewhere beneath that ancient sky, the universe continues to unfold, slowly, patiently, one moment, one star, one dreamlike night at a time. Venus rotates so slowly that a single day on its surface lasts longer than its year. The planet turns with remarkable patience, while Venus travels around the Sun, completing an entire orbit. It barely finishes a rotation of its own. If a person could somehow stand safely upon its surface, time would feel strangely unfamiliar. The sun would rise and set at an almost unimaginable pace. Days would stretch into vast spans. Shadows would move with extraordinary slowness. The landscape would appear trapped inside a long, lingering moment. Of course, Venus itself is not a peaceful world. Its atmosphere is dense. Its temperatures are extreme. Its clouds contain droplets of sulfuric acid. Yet its slow rotation offers a fascinating reminder that time is experienced differently throughout the cosmos. What feels normal on Earth is not universal. The rhythm of days, the length of seasons, the movement of sunlight across the sky. These are local experiences. The universe contains countless clocks, countless tempos, countless versions of morning and night. Perhaps that is one reason astronomy feels so expansive. It gently loosens the assumption that our familiar perspective is the only one. Far beneath old forests, fallen trees gradually return their materials to the soil. Moss spreads across bark. Fungi weave through wood. Insects carve tiny pathways. What appears to be an ending becomes a beginning. The forest wastes very little. It recycles patiently. Matter changes form. Life continues. The stars behave similarly. One generation enriches the universe for the next. The death of ancient stars provided the ingredients for planets and living things yet to come. Nothing remains unchanged, yet very little is truly lost. Our next calm science fact is this: light has a speed, and because of that speed, every view of the universe is a view into the past. When you look at the moon, you see it as it was about 1¼ seconds ago. When you look at the sun, you see it as it was roughly 8 minutes ago. When you observe distant galaxies, you may be seeing them as they existed millions or billions of years ago. The night sky is a collection of different eras displayed simultaneously. Ancient light arrives alongside relatively recent light. Different moments coexist within the same view. A telescope becomes a kind of time machine, not because it carries us backward, but because it allows old information to reach us. There is something profoundly beautiful about that. The universe preserves traces of its history in the form of light. Every photon is a traveler. Every beam is a messenger. Every observation is a meeting between present awareness and ancient events. Elsewhere in the universe, vast clouds of dust drift through interstellar space. At first glance, dust may seem insignificant, tiny particles, barely noticeable. Yet cosmic dust plays an essential role in the creation of stars and planets. Without it, many familiar structures might never form. Dust helps cool collapsing clouds. Dust contributes ingredients. Dust participates in the architecture of worlds. The universe repeatedly reveals a gentle lesson. Small things matter. Tiny particles help build planets. Microscopic organisms shape ecosystems. Individual drops create oceans. The grandest structures often depend upon humble beginnings. Our next calm science fact is this: Mars once possessed rivers, lakes, and perhaps even seas. Evidence scattered across its surface suggests that liquid water flowed there long ago. Valleys carved by ancient currents still remain. Sediments preserve clues about vanished environments. Today, Mars appears cold and dry. Its landscapes seem quiet, almost abandoned. Yet the planet carries memories of a different era. Scientists continue studying those memories carefully. Every canyon, every rock layer, every mineral deposit contributes another piece of the story. Mars reminds us that worlds can change dramatically. A planet that once looked one way may later look entirely different. Time reshapes landscapes. Atmospheres evolve. Conditions shift. The universe is full of transformations, unfolding across vast spans. And perhaps there is comfort in knowing that change has always been part of nature's design. Far above remote deserts, the night sky often appears especially brilliant. Dry air and minimal light pollution allow countless stars to emerge. Observers sometimes describe feeling overwhelmed by the sheer number of visible points of light. The experience can be strangely emotional, not because the stars are close, but because they are so distant. Their remoteness creates a sense of scale difficult to find elsewhere. A person standing beneath such a sky may feel very small, yet also connected to something larger. The paradox is familiar. Awareness of vastness can diminish the self and expand it simultaneously. Our next calm science fact is this: Jupiter acts as a kind of gravitational giant within the solar system. Its enormous mass influences countless objects: asteroids, comets, moons. Even the trajectories of spacecraft are shaped by its presence. Jupiter's gravity extends far beyond the visible boundaries of the planet itself. Invisible influence reaches outward through space. Many natural systems operate this way. The most obvious feature is not always the most important one. A tree's roots remain hidden underground, yet they support everything above. Gravity cannot be seen directly, yet it shapes the universe. The wind leaves no permanent form, yet it carves landscapes. The deepest influences often work quietly. Their presence is revealed through effects rather than appearances. Our next calm science fact is this: there are places in the universe where stars no longer form in significant numbers. Some galaxies contain mostly old stars. Their periods of vigorous stellar birth have largely passed. The brilliant nurseries of youth have become quieter. These galaxies glow with the accumulated light of ancient suns. There is a certain tranquility in imagining such places. Not empty, not dead, simply older. The universe contains regions of energetic creation and regions of peaceful maturity. Both are natural. Both belong. A forest of young saplings differs from an ancient woodland, yet each possesses its own beauty. The cosmos seems comfortable embracing every stage of existence. Beginnings, middle chapters, long, reflective evenings. Far beneath calm lakes, layers of sediment settle slowly upon the bottom. Year after year, century after century, The accumulation is almost imperceptible, yet eventually thick records form. Scientists can study these layers to understand past climates and ecosystems. Time writes stories gradually. Nature keeps journals in stone, ice, and mud. Astronomy keeps journals in light. The universe remembers more than we often realize. Our next calm science fact is this: the Milky Way and Andromeda are moving toward one another. Although most galaxies are drifting apart because of cosmic expansion, gravity can overcome that expansion on local scales. Over billions of years, our galaxy and Andromeda will gradually approach. Eventually, they are expected to merge, not in a violent collision of stars, since stars are separated by vast distances. Instead, a slow gravitational dance will unfold. Structures will change, orbits will shift, a new galaxy will emerge. The process will require immense spans of time, longer than the entire history of humanity, many times over. Even galaxies experience transformation. Even structures containing hundreds of billions of stars continue evolving. Nothing stands entirely outside the flow of change. Not planets, not stars, not galaxies, not time itself. As this quiet journey continues, imagine an abandoned observatory standing beside a remote coastline. Its telescope no longer turns. Its halls remain empty. Moonlight spills across weathered stone. The sea moves rhythmically against distant cliffs. Above, stars continue their ancient motions. The observatory is silent, yet the universe remains active. Light still travels. Galaxies still rotate. Nebulae still glow. The cosmos never truly sleeps. It simply continues at its own pace, a pace so vast and patient that it often feels like stillness. And perhaps that is one of the gentlest discoveries astronomy offers. Stillness is not the absence of motion. Silence is not the absence of activity. The universe is alive with processes unfolding beyond immediate perception. Quiet does not mean empty. Darkness does not mean nothingness. Distance does not mean disconnection. Between the stars, countless journeys continue. And tonight, as the earth turns slowly beneath the night sky, you are part of one of them. Our next calm science fact is this: the earth is never in exactly the same place twice. Even if you return to a familiar room, even if you stand on the same patch of ground, even if you look through the same window at the same stars, the planet beneath you has traveled millions of kilometers through space since your last visit. The Earth circles the sun. The sun circles the center of the galaxy. The galaxy itself moves through the wider cosmos. Everything is in motion. Everything is journeying. And yet daily life often feels stationary. Perhaps this is because the universe specializes in gentle movement. The most profound travels are not always the most noticeable. A river may reshape a landscape over centuries. A forest may migrate across a continent over millennia. A galaxy may evolve over billions of years. The universe is comfortable with slow voyages. It never seems concerned about arriving quickly. Far out at sea, there are regions where the water stretches to every horizon. No coastline appears. No mountain breaks the view. Only ocean, sky, distance. Sailors crossing such regions sometimes describe a feeling of peaceful isolation, not loneliness as sorrow, but loneliness as vastness, a sense of occupying a small place within something immeasurably larger. Astronomy often evokes a similar feeling. The stars remind us how much exists beyond our immediate surroundings, and somehow that awareness can feel comforting. Our next calm science fact is this: the solar system contains a vast cloud of icy objects far beyond Pluto. This distant region is often called the Oort cloud. Scientists believe it may extend astonishing distances from the Sun, far beyond the familiar planets, far beyond ordinary imagination. If it exists as currently understood, the Oort cloud represents the outermost frontier of the Sun's gravitational influence. Comets may spend millions of years drifting there, silent, cold, suspended in darkness. The Sun itself would appear merely as a bright star among countless others. Imagine standing on an object at such a distance. Warmth of the inner solar system would feel unimaginably remote. The familiar planets would be invisible. Home would become a memory of light. And yet, even there, one would remain connected to the same star. Distance changes perspective, but it does not always sever relationships. Sometimes connection persists across enormous separations. The universe seems fond of that idea. Our next calm science fact is this: many stars exist in pairs. Rather than traveling alone, they orbit one another. These binary star systems are common throughout the galaxy. Two suns circling a shared center, a gravitational partnership lasting millions or billions of years. Some stars are accompanied by multiple stellar companions, entire families of suns moving together through darkness. The night sky can sometimes create the impression of isolation, yet many stars are not solitary at all. Their stories are intertwined, their paths connected, their motions linked by invisible forces. Perhaps relationships throughout nature often work this way. The connections may not always be visible, yet they exist. Gravity connects celestial bodies. Ecology connects living systems. Memory connects moments separated by years. The universe is woven together more deeply than appearances suggest. Far beneath Antarctic ice, trapped air bubbles preserve samples of ancient atmospheres. Scientists drill deep cores through the ice and study these frozen records. Each layer represents another chapter of Earth's past. Tiny pockets of air remain sealed for thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of years. The ice remembers, the planet remembers. Nature keeps archives in unexpected places. Astronomy reveals a similar truth. Light remembers, galaxies remember, atoms remember. The universe carries traces of its history everywhere. We live inside an immense library, one written not with ink, but with matter, energy, time, and silence. Our next calm science fact is this: a single galaxy can contain hundreds of billions of stars, and there are likely hundreds of billions of galaxies. Numbers like these challenge ordinary intuition. The mind naturally seeks familiar scales. Rooms, cities, mountains, continents. But astronomy frequently operates beyond such categories. The cosmos expands beyond comfortable measurement, yet perhaps exact numbers are not always necessary. Sometimes wonder begins before calculation ends. A person standing beneath a clear night sky does not need to count every star to appreciate the view. The feeling arrives first. The understanding follows later. And even then, only partially. The universe remains larger than complete comprehension. There is something restful about accepting that. Not every mystery must be solved tonight. Not every question requires closure. Some questions are beautiful companions. Our next calm science fact is this: the longest-lived stars may survive for trillions of years. Small red dwarf stars burn their fuel with extraordinary efficiency. They shine gently, patiently, conserving their energy, while larger stars may live for millions or billions of years. Red dwarfs can endure for spans far exceeding the current age of the universe. In fact, the cosmos may not yet be old enough for any red dwarf to have reached the end of its natural life. Every one that has ever formed may still exist, still shining, still continuing. There is something almost comforting about such persistence. Not brilliance, not intensity, but endurance. The quiet stars often last the longest. Nature sometimes rewards steadiness more than spectacle. A slow river can carve stone. A gentle wind can shape dunes. A patient star can outlive entire eras of cosmic history. Far across ancient grasslands, seeds may remain dormant for years before conditions become favorable. Then, after waiting through seasons of silence, growth begins. Life frequently demonstrates remarkable patience. The universe seems to encourage it. Our next calm science fact is this: some of the atoms you breathe today may once have been breathed by ancient humans. Earth's atmosphere continuously circulates and mixes. Molecules travel. Winds distribute them. Time rearranges them. The air itself participates in a vast planetary cycle. This idea can feel surprising at first, yet it reflects a deeper truth. Nature is profoundly interconnected. The boundaries we perceive are often softer than they appear. The water in a river may once have been part of a cloud, a glacier, an ocean, a living cell. Matter travels. Stories overlap. The universe specializes in recycling rather than replacement. And perhaps that realization softens the sense of separation that distance sometimes creates. Elsewhere in the universe, enormous nebulae glow softly within darkness. Some shine because nearby stars energize their gases. Others reflect light like cosmic fog, illuminated by moonlight. These vast structures can stretch across dozens or even hundreds of light years. Yet, despite their immense size, they are extraordinarily thin, far more diffuse than any vacuum humans can create in laboratories. The most delicate clouds imaginable, suspended across unimaginable distances. Nature often combines opposites in surprising ways. Immense yet fragile, ancient yet evolving, distant yet visible. The universe repeatedly refuses simple categories. Our next calm science fact is this: There are regions of the ocean so deep that sunlight never reaches them. For millions of years, entire ecosystems have existed beyond direct contact with daylight. Creatures survive through alternative sources of energy. Adaptation creates possibility. Life finds pathways through conditions that initially seem impossible. Astronomers often wonder whether similar principles might apply elsewhere. Could life exist beneath icy crusts, within underground oceans, in environments radically different from Earth's surface? The question remains open. The silence continues, but possibility remains, and possibility itself possesses a quiet beauty, not certainty, not proof, just openness, a horizon not yet explored. Far beyond the planets, beyond the asteroids, beyond the distant comets, the stars continue their slow journeys through the galaxy. They are not fixed points. They are travelers, each following its own orbit, each carrying its own history, each moving through a darkness shared by all. And perhaps that image captures something essential about existence. We are all travelers of one kind or another, moving through time, moving through experience, moving through a universe much larger than ourselves. Yet for brief moments, our paths cross. Light reaches us, stories reach us, understanding reaches us. As the night grows quieter still, imagine standing upon a remote shoreline beneath a sky untouched by city lights. Waves move softly across black water. The horizon dissolves into darkness. Above, the Milky Way stretches from one end of the heavens to the other. Billions of stars, billions of histories, billions of distant lights, and between them, immense silence. Not an empty silence, not a lonely silence, but a patient silence. A silence that has existed for ages. A silence through which starlight travels. A silence that allows galaxies to drift. A silence spacious enough to hold every question humanity has ever asked. The stars do not answer quickly. The universe rarely rushes. Instead, it offers distance, perspective, time, and perhaps, in the deepest hours of the night, that is enough. To know that the cosmos is vast, to know that we are small, to know that small things can still be meaningful, and to rest, for a while, beneath the quiet company of ancient light. If all the planets in our solar system vanished tonight, the stars would barely notice. The sun would continue moving through the galaxy. Nearby stars would continue their own journeys. The great spiral arms of the Milky Way would remain largely unchanged. On cosmic scales, planets are very small things, tiny companions circling larger fires. And yet, from another perspective, planets are everything. They are where mountains rise, where oceans gather, where weather drifts across horizons, where life emerges and begins asking questions. The universe often reveals this curious duality. Something can be insignificant in one context and precious in another. A grain of sand is small compared to a desert. A single tree is small compared to a forest. A planet is small compared to a galaxy. Yet remove the grain and the desert changes. Remove the tree and the forest changes. Remove the planet and an entire world disappears. Scale influences perspective, but it does not determine meaning. Far out in the Pacific Ocean, there are locations so remote that the nearest human beings may be aboard satellites passing overhead rather than ships crossing the sea. These isolated regions sometimes feel almost extraterrestrial. Vast stretches of water extending in every direction. No cities, no roads, no visible signs of civilization, only sky and ocean. The Earth contains places that hint at the loneliness of space, not because they are truly empty, but because they reveal how immense our world can feel when familiar landmarks disappear. The universe magnifies that feeling beyond imagination, and yet somehow the emotion remains recognizable. Our next calm science fact is this: the Milky Way has likely existed for more than 13 billion years. Generation after generation of stars has lived and died within it. Ancient suns shone before the Earth existed. Ancient planets formed and vanished. Entire stellar populations came and went long before humanity appeared. The galaxy has witnessed epochs beyond counting. If it could remember, its memory would extend across almost the entire history of the cosmos. And still it turns, slowly, patiently, its spiral arms rotating through darkness. There is something calming about structures that endure, not because they last forever, but because they remind us that existence unfolds across many different scales. Human lives are brief, civilizations are longer, species longer still, galaxies longer yet. Each scale possesses its own stories, its own beauty, its own rhythms. Far beneath calm woodland soil, roots continue growing even during seasons when the surface appears still. Winter arrives, leaves fall. The landscape grows quiet, yet hidden activity continues underground. Preparation continues. Adaptation continues. Life continues. Nature frequently works beneath the threshold of observation. The universe does as well. Much of what shapes reality occurs out of sight. The stars forming inside dark clouds, the continents drifting beneath our feet, the galaxies moving through space. Invisible does not mean inactive. Our next calm science fact is this: astronomers sometimes discover planets by watching stars dim. When a planet passes in front of its star, it blocks a tiny fraction of the light. Change may be extraordinarily small, yet sensitive instruments can detect it. From that slight reduction in brightness, entire worlds can be inferred. Oceans perhaps, mountains perhaps, clouds perhaps, planets revealed not by direct observation, but by subtle effects. There is something poetic about that method. The unseen becomes known through gentle influence. A tiny shadow crossing a distant sun, a whisper within starlight. The universe often communicates quietly, not through grand announcements, but through careful clues, patterns, variations, small details noticed by patient observers. Perhaps many truths arrive that way, not dramatically, but gradually, for those willing to look closely. Elsewhere in the universe, stars occasionally pass relatively near one another, not close by human standards. The distances remain vast. Yet gravitational interactions can alter trajectories over time. The galaxy is not a static arrangement. It is a dynamic community of travelers. Paths intersect, influences accumulate, stories overlap. This image feels strangely familiar. Lives cross, moments connect, journeys intersect briefly before continuing. Nature repeats patterns across scales, from people to planets, from rivers to galaxies. Movement creates encounters. Encounters create stories. Our next calm science fact is this: the night sky is brighter than complete darkness, even far from cities, even on moonless nights. A faint glow remains. Starlight, air glow in Earth's atmosphere. Distant galaxies, the lingering presence of cosmic light. True darkness is surprisingly difficult to find. The universe contains countless sources of illumination, tiny contributions adding together. A subtle brightness spread across the heavens. Perhaps this serves as a gentle metaphor. Even during quiet periods, complete emptiness is rare. Small lights remain, memories, ideas, moments of beauty, connections that persist across distance. A single star may seem insignificant, yet enough stars can illuminate a sky. Far across frozen tundra, the aurora sometimes dances overhead. Charged particles from the sun interact with Earth's magnetic field. Green curtains ripple, purple waves shimmer. Light moves silently across the heavens. Ancient observers often regarded these displays with wonder. Modern science explains the mechanisms involved, yet explanation has not diminished the beauty. Understanding and wonder coexist remarkably well. The more we learn, the more astonishing reality often becomes. Our next calm science fact is this: Earth's magnetic field extends far into space. Invisible lines of influence surround the planet, protecting it from many charged particles arriving from the sun. Without this magnetic shield, life on Earth might have faced very different conditions. Much of what keeps our world habitable cannot be seen directly. Atmospheres, magnetic fields, chemical cycles. The systems sustaining life often operate quietly in the background. Their success lies partly in their invisibility. When they function well, we rarely think about them. The universe is filled with hidden structures supporting visible outcomes. Roots support forests. Gravity supports galaxies. Magnetic fields support planets. The unseen is often essential. Our next calm science fact is this: in the far future, the night sky may look very different. As the universe continues expanding, distant galaxies will move farther away. Over immense spans of time, many may eventually become impossible to observe from our region of space. Future astronomers, if any exist, could inhabit a cosmos that appears smaller than the one we see today. Not because the universe shrank, but because distance carried ancient light beyond visibility. The heavens themselves evolve. What can be observed changes with time. This thought carries a certain melancholy, yet also a certain beauty. Every era receives its own sky. Every age witnesses its own version of the universe. The night above ancient forests differed from the night above modern cities. The future sky will differ from today's. Nothing remains frozen. Everything participates in the great unfolding. Far beneath the sea, whale songs travel through dark water. Low frequencies can cross enormous distances, one voice reaching another through a vast and often unseen environment. The ocean carries messages. Space carries light. Nature repeatedly finds ways to bridge separation. Distance exists, yet communication persists. Loneliness exists, yet connection remains possible. Perhaps that balance is woven deeply into reality itself. As this quiet journey continues deeper into the night, imagine a solitary lighthouse standing at the edge of a remote island. Its beam turns slowly across black water, again and again and again. Most of the light disappears into darkness, yet some of it reaches distant waves, some reaches passing ships, some simply continues outward into the night. The lighthouse does not know where every beam will travel. It shines anyway. The stars behave similarly. Their light spreads in all directions, crossing immense distances, touching worlds they will never see. Perhaps meaning often works like that. Not every action reveals its destination. Not every light knows who will witness it. Yet the light travels. The signal continues. The journey unfolds. And somewhere beyond the horizon, beyond the sea, beyond the atmosphere, beyond the nearest stars, the universe remains vast and quiet. Galaxies drift through darkness. Nebulae glow softly. Ancient photons continue crossing unimaginable distances. The silence between the stars endures, not as an absence, but as a space large enough to hold wonder, large enough to hold questions, large enough to hold dreams. And tonight, beneath that immense and patient sky, you can simply drift with it. No destination required, only the gentle movement of time and the quiet companionship of the cosmos. A star can spend millions of years preparing for transformation that happens in only a moment. Deep within stellar cores, nuclear reactions slowly change the balance of matter and energy. For vast stretches of time, the process appears stable. The star shines. Heat flows outward. Gravity presses inward. And equilibrium endures. Then, eventually, conditions shift. A new chapter begins, sometimes gradually, sometimes dramatically. Yet, even the most spectacular cosmic events are usually preceded by unimaginably long periods of quiet preparation. Nature rarely rushes toward its turning points. The universe seems content to spend ages building toward a single moment. Perhaps many things in life unfold the same way. The visible change arrives suddenly. The invisible preparation takes much longer. Far beneath mountain ranges, tectonic plates move with extraordinary patience. They slide only centimeters each year, almost imperceptibly. And yet, over millions of years, they raise peaks, open valleys, and reshape continents. A traveler standing upon a mountain may feel surrounded by permanence, but the mountain itself is participating in a slow journey through time. The earth is always becoming something slightly different than it was before. Stars remind us of this. The oceans remind us of this. Even stone reminds us of this. Nothing remains exactly as it was, and perhaps that is not a tragedy. Perhaps it is simply the rhythm of existence. Our next calm science fact is this: The largest known stars are difficult to imagine. Some are so enormous that if one replaced our sun, its outer layers could extend beyond the orbit of Mars, or even farther. These stellar giants occupy volumes that dwarf ordinary intuition. Yet despite their immense size, they often live relatively short lives. Their brilliance comes at a cost. They consume fuel rapidly. They shine intensely. They burn through their possibilities with remarkable speed. Smaller stars often endure much longer. The contrast feels strangely philosophical. Brightness and longevity do not always travel together. Intensity and endurance follow different paths. Nature offers many strategies, many tempos, many ways to exist. The universe does not insist upon a single approach. Elsewhere in the darkness, tiny stars shine quietly for ages, almost beyond comprehension. And both stories belong. Our next calm science fact is this: Earth's oceans contain more than 90% of the planet's living space. When people imagine life, they often picture forests, cities, fields, or deserts. Yet most of the available habitat on Earth exists beneath the sea, an enormous realm hidden below the waves. A world of currents, trenches, reefs, and drifting life. Even now, large portions remain only partially explored. The deep ocean retains mysteries. New species continue to be discovered. Unknown behaviors continue to emerge. The familiar planet still contains unexplored frontiers. There is something comforting about that. Mystery has not vanished. Despite centuries of observation and study, reality remains larger than complete understanding. The same is true of the universe. The more humanity learns, the more horizons appear. Questions generate new questions. Wonder renews itself. Far beneath the surface, darkness persists, not as an obstacle, but as an invitation. Our next calm science fact is this: some planets may spend their entire existence beneath thick clouds. If you stood upon certain worlds beyond our solar system, you might never see the stars above. A dense atmosphere could conceal the sky completely. Generations could pass beneath perpetual cloud cover. The universe contains countless possible environments, some familiar, some profoundly strange. Yet even hidden skies remain connected to the cosmos. The stars continue shining whether they are visible or not. Galaxies continue turning whether they are observed or not. Reality does not depend upon attention. The universe continues its work in silence. There is a peaceful humility in that realization. The world is larger than our awareness, and it remains beautiful even when unseen. Far across remote valleys, fog sometimes settles before dawn. Trees emerge as shadows. Hills fade into pale distance. Details soften. Boundaries blur. The landscape becomes quieter, more mysterious. Astronomy often feels similar. The farther we look, the more uncertainty enters the picture. Yet uncertainty does not eliminate beauty. It often enhances it. The unknown leaves room for imagination, room for exploration, room for wonder. Our next calm science fact is this: gravity travels across the universe. When massive objects move in particular ways, they can create ripples in space-time itself. These are known as gravitational waves. For generations, they remained theoretical. Then, in the 21st century, scientists detected them directly, tiny distortions arriving from distant cosmic events. The measurement required extraordinary precision, changes smaller than an atomic nucleus, signals crossing immense distances, messages carried not by light, but by the structure of space-time itself. There is something remarkable about that. The universe possesses multiple ways of communicating. Light tells stories. Gravity tells stories. Particles tell stories. Everything leaves traces. Everything contributes to the larger narrative. And humanity, through patience and curiosity, continues learning how to listen. Our next calm science fact is this: the moon helps stabilize Earth's climate over long timescales. Its gravitational influence affects the orientation of our planet. Without the moon, Earth's tilt might vary much more dramatically. The seasons could become far less predictable. Life might have faced very different conditions. Often when people think about the moon, they think about moonlight, about tides, about its beauty in the night sky. Yet its influence reaches deeper than appearances suggest. Many important things do. A distant companion quietly shaping the character of a world. The universe contains countless examples of subtle relationships, invisible threads connecting outcomes across vast distances. Far out at sea, the moon lifts entire oceans. Night after night, century after century, without sound, without announcement, simply doing what gravity does, patiently. Our next calm science fact is this: the stars visible tonight are only a tiny fraction of those in our galaxy. Most stars cannot be seen with the naked eye. Distance conceals them. Dust obscures them. Human vision has limits. The Milky Way contains far more light than any individual observer can perceive. This idea can feel surprisingly reassuring. Reality is richer than immediate experience. More exists than we can presently observe. The unseen does not cease to exist simply because it remains beyond awareness. The universe overflows with hidden complexity, hidden beauty, hidden stories. Perhaps life often works that way as well. Many important things remain unnoticed until circumstances reveal them. Potential waits quietly, like stars behind clouds, like seeds beneath soil, like distant galaxies beyond the reach of ordinary sight. Far beneath frozen lakes during winter, fish continue swimming through dark water. Life persists beneath the ice. The surface may appear silent, still, inactive. Yet below, movement continues. Nature repeatedly demonstrates that appearances can be incomplete. Stillness may contain activity. Darkness may contain life. Silence may contain meaning. The universe encourages patience because patience allows hidden things to emerge. Our next calm science fact is this: one day, every star currently visible in the night sky will be gone. Not soon, not remotely soon, but eventually. Stars exhaust their fuel. Galaxies evolve. Cosmic eras change. The universe possesses a future as vast as its past. Future astronomers, if such observers exist, may witness skies profoundly different from ours. new constellations, new structures, new histories. The heavens themselves are temporary, yet somehow this does not make them less beautiful. If anything, it deepens their beauty. The stars are precious precisely because they belong to a particular chapter of cosmic history, and we belong to that chapter too. For a brief time, the earth circles its star. The moon circles the earth. The galaxy turns through darkness, and awareness exists to notice it. As the night continues to deepen, imagine a quiet beach beneath a sky untouched by artificial light. The tide rises slowly. Waves whisper against the shore. The Milky Way stretches overhead like a luminous river crossing infinity. No crowds, no noise, only water, sand, stars, and distance. The darkness between those stars is immense, yet it is not hostile. It is not empty in the way people often imagine. It contains possibility, history, future worlds, traveling light, invisible dust, unfinished stories. The silence of the universe is not the silence of abandonment. It is the silence of scale, the silence of deep time, the silence of a reality so vast that it speaks slowly. And tonight, as the earth turns beneath the stars, that ancient silence continues, patient, gentle, unhurried, waiting for no one, excluding no one, simply existing, as it has for ages, as it will for ages more. The sun is currently traveling through a region of the galaxy known as the local interstellar cloud. This cloud is extraordinarily thin, far thinner than any vacuum humans can create in ordinary laboratories. And yet, on cosmic scales, it is still a place, a region, a neighborhood within the wider galaxy. As the solar system moves through space, it drifts through changing environments, not dramatically, not quickly, but steadily. The planets, comets, asteroids, and distant icy worlds all travel together, carried by the sun through the Milky Way like passengers aboard a vast and ancient vessel. There is something comforting about that image. Earth is not standing still in an empty void. It is participating in a journey shared with every mountain, every ocean, every forest, and every living thing. Tonight, while cities sleep and waves roll toward distant shores, the entire solar system continues its quiet passage through the galaxy. No sound accompanies the voyage. No signposts mark the route. Only time, only motion, only the endless unfolding of the stars. Far across deserts, dunes migrate slowly beneath the influence of wind. A person returning after many years might find familiar landscapes subtly transformed. The shapes have shifted. The contours have changed. The desert remains the same place, and yet it is different. The galaxy behaves similarly. Stars drift, clouds evolve, new structures emerge. The universe preserves identity while embracing change. Our next calm science fact is this: the first stars were very different from the stars we see today. In the early universe, only the lightest elements existed in abundance. Hydrogen, helium, little else. The earliest stars formed from these simple ingredients. They lived, they shone, and through their lives, they created heavier elements: carbon, oxygen, silicon, iron, materials that would later help build planets and living things. In a sense, the first stars were pioneers, ancient furnaces preparing the cosmos for future complexity. Without them, Earth could not exist. Oceans could not exist. Trees could not exist. You could not exist. The universe needed generations of stars before it could eventually create someone capable of wondering about stars. That thought carries a gentle elegance. The cosmos spent billions of years preparing the ingredients for awareness, and awareness emerged, not everywhere, not necessarily often, but here, at least once. Far beneath the ocean surface, tiny plankton drift through currents largely beyond their control. Yet, despite their size, they influence entire ecosystems. They help produce oxygen, support food webs, shape planetary processes. Small things often participate in large stories. The universe repeatedly demonstrates this principle. A single atom contributes to a molecule. A molecule contributes to life. A life contributes to history. A history contributes to civilization. Scale and significance do not always correlate. The smallest components can matter profoundly. Our next calm science fact is this. Astronomers have discovered planets orbiting dead stars. These systems challenge assumptions about where worlds can exist. Even after dramatic transformations, planetary companions may survive, or new worlds may eventually form from the remnants. Nature often proves more adaptable than expected. The universe rarely confines itself to simple categories: life and death, beginning and ending, creation and destruction. These concepts blur when viewed across cosmic timescales. Stars die, yet their materials continue. Planets change, yet matter persists. Galaxies evolve, yet structure remains. The story never truly stops. It simply changes chapters. Far within ancient forests, fallen leaves become soil. The forest floor is not merely a place where things end. It is a place where future growth begins. Nature frequently transforms conclusions into beginnings. The stars do the same. Our next calm science fact is this. Space contains enormous regions where almost nothing happens for very long periods of time. Human life is often filled with activity, schedules, movement, conversations, choices. But the universe includes places where change unfolds so slowly that millions of years may pass with little visible difference. A cloud drifts. A star moves slightly. Gravity reshapes a distant orbit. That may be all. There is something soothing about imagining such places, not because they are exciting, but because they are not. They exist without urgency, without deadlines, without pressure. The cosmos contains room for stillness on scales beyond imagination. And perhaps that is why looking at the stars can feel calming. They remind us that not everything must happen immediately. Not every process requires acceleration. Some transformations deserve time. Some journeys unfold slowly. The universe appears comfortable with both. Our next calm science fact is this. The Milky Way contains rivers of stars. Over time, galaxies absorb smaller companions. As this happens, streams of stars can be stretched across space by gravity. These stellar rivers preserve memories of ancient encounters, ghostly traces of galaxies that once existed as separate systems. The night sky often appears static, yet hidden within it are records of long-forgotten events. The galaxy remembers its history, not through words, not through monuments, but through structure. Patterns remain long after their origins have faded. The Earth does something similar. A canyon remembers water. A fossil remembers life. A glacier remembers climate. Nature writes its autobiography everywhere. One only needs patience to read it. Far above polar regions, ice crystals suspended in cold air sometimes create halos around the moon. Soft circles of light appear in the darkness, quiet geometries formed by simple physical processes. No audience is required. No announcement is made. Beauty emerges anyway. This happens throughout the universe. Nebulae glow where no eyes may ever see them. Stars rise above uninhabited worlds. Galaxies spin through empty expanses. The cosmos creates beauty generously, not because someone is watching, but because beauty is often a natural consequence of the underlying laws. Our next calm science fact is this. Every second, the sun converts millions of tons of matter into energy. Through nuclear fusion, tiny amounts of mass become sunlight. That sunlight spreads outward across the solar system. Some reaches Earth, some warms oceans, some powers forests, some touches distant spacecraft. Most continues onward into interstellar space, a constant stream of energy radiating into darkness. The sun has been doing this for billions of years, patiently, steadily, without interruption. There is a reassuring reliability in stars. They shine because of what they are, not because they choose to, not because they seek recognition. Their light is simply an expression of their nature. Perhaps there is wisdom in that. Sometimes the most meaningful contributions arise naturally, quietly, without fanfare, like sunlight crossing a morning field, like rain nourishing a forest, like starlight traveling through the night. Our next calm science fact is this. The deepest loneliness in the universe may not belong to planets or stars. It may belong to distance itself. Between every object lies space. Between every star lies darkness. Between every galaxy stretch enormous voids. And yet, remarkably, those distances are crossed continuously. Light crosses them. Gravity crosses them. Information crosses them. The universe is separated, but it is also connected. The darkness between stars allows starlight to travel. The emptiness between galaxies allows galaxies to exist as distinct structures. Distance is not merely separation. Distance is also possibility. Without distance, there would be no journeys. Without silence, there would be no echoes. Without night, there would be no stars. Perhaps loneliness and connection are not enemies. Perhaps they are partners, each helping define the other. As the hours drift gently onward, imagine a remote observatory resting atop a snowy plateau. The world below is asleep. The telescope points toward a region of sky few people are thinking about tonight. Ancient photons arrive one by one, crossing billions of years. completing journeys that began before mountains rose where cities now stand, before languages existed, before humanity itself. The photons arrive, the instruments record them. The universe shares another fragment of its story, and outside, beyond the observatory, beyond the mountains, beyond the atmosphere, the stars continue their patient shining. Not hurried, not concerned, not lonely in the way humans understand loneliness, simply existing within a vast and beautiful reality. A reality where silence stretches across unimaginable distances, where darkness fills most of space, where light persists anyway. And perhaps that is one of the gentlest lessons hidden among the stars. The darkness is real. The distances are real. The silence is real. And still, the light travels. Our next calm science fact is this. Even in the coldest, darkest regions of space, motion never fully stops. Particles drift. Light travels. Gravity gently shapes trajectories over immense spans of time. What appears still is often only slow beyond perception. On human timescales, a cloud of interstellar gas may seem frozen in place, but given millions of years, its structure shifts. It collapses in some regions, expands in others. It participates in a long, quiet evolution. The universe rarely displays sudden stillness. Even silence has movement within it. Even emptiness has rhythm across deep time. There is something deeply calming in this realization. Stillness is not absence. It is slow motion stretched beyond perception. Far beneath desert nights, sand grains shift under faint breezes. A dune may appear unchanged for hours. Yet over seasons, it moves. Over centuries, it reshapes entire landscapes. Ancient cities can be buried and revealed again. The earth is constantly rewriting its surface, softly, gradually, without announcement. The cosmos behaves in a similar way. Stars drift, orbits adjust, galaxies reshape themselves, but all of it happens slowly enough that a single moment feels like permanence. Our next calm science fact is this. Some of the largest structures in the universe are not galaxies or stars, but vast filaments of matter. These cosmic filaments form a kind of web stretching across space. Galaxies gather along them like beads on invisible threads. Between them lie enormous voids, regions where matter is scarce, regions where darkness dominates. From a distance, the universe resembles a delicate network, not chaotic, not random, but structured, interconnected, like a slow and immense architecture built over billions of years. It is a reminder that even on the largest scales, patterns emerge, order forms, connections appear. Even in the apparent emptiness between galaxies, structure exists. Far beneath forest soil, fungal networks connect trees in subtle ways. Nutrients pass through hidden pathways. Signals move between roots. Forests behave not as isolated individuals, but as communities. The universe may be similar. Individual stars separated by vast distances, yet part of larger patterns shaped by gravity. Connection does not require closeness. Our next calm science fact is this. Time near a black hole does not flow the same way it does far away. The stronger the gravity, the more time slows relative to distant observers. This is not science fiction. It is a measured consequence of relativity. If an object could hover near the edge of a black hole and return, it would find that less time had passed for it than for the universe outside. A strange asymmetry, a gentle distortion of reality itself. This idea can feel unsettling at first, but there's also something strangely peaceful about it. Time is not rigid. It is flexible. It bends with the universe, like a river shaped by terrain, like light refracted through water. Even time participates in cosmic structure. Far across calm lakes, reflections of trees appear inverted on the surface. Still, water becomes a mirror, a different perspective of the same world. Change the angle slightly, and the reflection shifts. Reality itself often depends on perspective. Our next calm science fact is this. Some exoplanets orbit so close to their stars that their surfaces may be molten. These worlds experience extreme radiation and heat. Their day side faces constant stellar fire. Their night side remains in perpetual darkness. In some cases, winds may carry vaporized rock across their atmospheres, a landscape not of soil and ocean, but of glowing, shifting mineral vapor. These are not calm worlds in the familiar sense, and yet they are part of the same cosmic story. They demonstrate the diversity of planetary existence. Not every world is like Earth. Not every sky is blue. Not every horizon is gentle. The universe explores possibilities widely, sometimes creating environments of intense contrast, sometimes creating environments of quiet stability. Both belong. Both are real. Our next calm science fact is this. The vacuum of space is not truly empty. It contains low levels of radiation, stray particles, and quantum fields. Even in the deepest voids, physics remains active. Energy fluctuations occur. Particles emerge and vanish on microscopic scales. What we call nothing, in everyday language, is, in physics, still a structured and active environment. This realization reshapes how emptiness is understood. It is not absence. It is subtle presence, a background hum of reality, always there, always present. Even silence has texture when examined closely enough. Far above frozen tundra, the aurora sometimes stretches across the sky in quiet motion. Light bends along invisible magnetic lines. Colors ripple slowly. Green, violet, white. No sound accompanies it. Only movement. Only glow. Only the slow conversation between Earth and Sun, expressed in charged particles and light. Nature often speaks in ways that do not require sound. Our next calm science fact is this. Some galaxies are so far away that their light will never reach us. Because the universe is expanding, there are regions of space receding faster than light can traverse the distance between us. From our perspective, those galaxies are effectively unreachable. Their light, if it has not already arrived, may never do so. This creates a cosmic horizon, a boundary not made of walls, but of time and expansion. Yet even this boundary is not a barrier in the ordinary sense. It is a limit shaped by the nature of space-time itself. a reminder that the universe is large not only in distance, but in complexity. And yet, within what we can see, there is already more than enough to inspire endless reflection. Stars, galaxies, nebulae, light traveling across billions of years. Enough, perhaps, for a lifetime of quiet contemplation. Our next calm science fact is this: Earth receives sunlight that is both ancient and continuous. Every second, photons leave the sun and begin a journey toward our planet. Some are absorbed by atmosphere, some by oceans, some by leaves, some by human skin. Each one carries energy from a nuclear reaction deep within the sun's core, a reaction that began long before that photon began its journey outward. Sunlight is both immediate and ancient, present and historical, a bridge between now and deep time. There is something gentle in that continuity, a reminder that even the most ordinary experiences are part of larger cosmic processes. Warmth on the skin, light through a window, the slow turning of day into night, all part of a cycle much larger than a single moment. As this section of our journey continues, imagine a quiet night field beneath a sky full of distant suns. Grass moves softly in a light wind. Fireflies appear and disappear like small temporary stars. Above, the Milky Way arches in pale light. Uncountable distances separate each point of brilliance, and yet, together, they form a single view. A unified sky, a shared silence, a vast and patient presence stretching across infinity. And within that presence, Earth turns, slowly, steadily, carrying oceans, continents, and every living moment through the darkness. Not alone, not separate, but as part of the same unfolding universe that has always been there. Quiet, endless, and gently alive with light. The universe has no preferred direction. Up, down, left, right, forward, and backward all become relative when viewed on cosmic scales. Space does not assign hierarchy to orientation. A galaxy does not know which way is above. A star does not know which way is forward. Motion exists, but direction is defined only in relation to other things. This absence of preference creates a kind of quiet equality across space. Every direction is equally vast, every path equally open. Every gaze into the sky leads outward into more sky. There is something deeply peaceful about that symmetry. No center of attention, no privileged horizon, only space unfolding evenly in all directions. Far across open plains, standing alone beneath a night sky can create a similar feeling. The horizon encircles you completely. Stars appear in every direction above. The world does not point anywhere in particular. It simply extends. And in that extension, a subtle stillness emerges. Our next calm science fact is this: neutrinos pass through Earth constantly. Trillions of these tiny particles travel through your body every second. Most of them pass without interacting at all. They come from the sun, from distant stars, from cosmic events far beyond the Milky Way, and they continue onward unaffected. Almost nothing stops them. They move through planets as if they were nearly empty space. And in a sense, that is what matter largely is. mostly empty space at atomic scales. Neutrinos reveal this hidden structure in a quiet way, not by force, but by passing through unnoticed. There is something almost meditative in that idea, a constant flow of invisible travelers moving through everything, never seen, rarely felt, always present. Far beneath calm ocean currents, microscopic organisms drift through water in invisible abundance. They are everywhere, yet rarely noticed individually. Entire ecosystems depend on them. Life often thrives at scales that escape direct perception. The universe frequently operates in this way as well. Invisible processes shaping visible outcomes. Our next calm science fact is this: the sun is not stationary. It moves in a slow orbit around the center of the Milky Way. One full galactic orbit takes roughly 225 to 250 million years. This period is sometimes called a galactic year. Dinosaurs existed during a previous portion of this orbit. Continents have shifted significantly since the last time the sun was in a similar position. The solar system travels through different regions of the galaxy over time, sometimes passing through denser star fields, sometimes through quieter interstellar space. A slow, continuous journey across cosmic neighborhoods. There is something quietly humbling in that motion. Even our entire solar system is not fixed in place. It is part of a larger rhythm, a larger rotation, a larger structure moving through space. Far beneath ancient cliffs, rock layers reveal histories of shifting seas and vanished environments. Each layer marks a different era, a different world, a different configuration of Earth. Time is recorded in stone, just as it is recorded in starlight. Our next calm science fact is this: some galaxies no longer form stars at all. They are often called quenched galaxies. Their gas has been depleted or heated beyond the point of star formation. As a result, they slowly fade as existing stars age and die. What remains is a population of older, redder stars, a quieter cosmic structure, not dead in an immediate sense, but no longer active in the same way. A long, slow dimming across billions of years. There is a certain stillness in imagining such galaxies, not emptiness, but completion of a chapter, a transition into quieter existence. The universe contains many such stages: bursting youth, active maturity, gentle aging. Each phase has its own character, its own kind of beauty. Far across frozen landscapes, glaciers move almost imperceptibly, yet they reshape entire valleys over time. What appears static is slowly transforming everything around it. The universe often behaves like this: quiet change, persistent motion, hidden transformation. Our next calm science fact is this: the observable universe is limited not by physical walls, but by the age of light. We can only see as far as light has had time to travel since the beginning of the cosmos. Beyond that horizon, there may be regions we cannot observe at all, not because they do not exist, but because their light has not yet reached us. The universe is therefore both vast and partially hidden. What we see is real, but not complete. There is always more beyond the visible edge. This creates a gentle humility. Knowledge is meaningful, but it is also incomplete. The sky we see is a fragment of a larger whole. Far beneath starlit skies, clouds drift slowly across moonlit fields. They reveal only a portion of the atmosphere. Above them, unseen layers extend farther upward. Reality often contains layers beyond immediate perception. Our next calm science fact is this: black holes can slowly evaporate over immense periods of time through a process known as Hawking radiation. Even objects that seem permanent on cosmic scales may eventually fade. This process is extraordinarily slow, far longer than the current age of the universe for most black holes. But it suggests that nothing in the universe is truly eternal in a simple sense. Even the most extreme objects are part of long-term change. This idea can feel vast and abstract, but it also emphasizes continuity. Everything participates in transformation. Everything belongs to time, and time itself is part of the universe's structure. Far above quiet deserts, stars continue to shine without awareness of observers below. Their light travels outward regardless of whether it is seen. Illumination is not dependent on witness. The universe continues expressing itself even in absence of attention. Our next calm science fact is this: some stars are older than the sun by billions of years. These ancient stars formed in earlier epochs of the galaxy. They carry within them chemical signatures from the early universe. Studying them is like reading extremely old pages of cosmic history. They remind us that the universe has depth in time as well as space. There are ancient objects still shining today, still participating in the present moment, even as they carry memory of the distant past. There is something profoundly gentle about that continuity. The past is not gone. It is still shining somewhere in the sky. Far across silent valleys, night winds move through grass without sound. The world continues its slow rotations beneath the stars. Time passes not in sudden jumps, but in gradual transitions. One moment blending into the next, one era becoming another. As this quiet journey continues, imagine the entire sky slowly rotating overhead. Not quickly, not dramatically, but with the patient movement of the earth itself. Stars tracing arcs across darkness, constellations shifting imperceptibly hour by hour. The universe does not rush to show its changes. It allows them to unfold slowly enough to be almost invisible. And in that slowness, there is peace, a sense that existence does not need urgency to be meaningful. The stars remain, the darkness remains, the silence remains, and within it, everything continues. The Earth's rotation is gradually slowing down, not in a way that is noticeable in a human lifetime, not in a way that changes the rhythm of daily life, but over long periods, the length of a day slowly increases. This happens due to gravitational interactions, especially between Earth and the Moon. Tides raised in the oceans create subtle friction. That friction transfers energy in an almost imperceptible exchange. The Moon slowly drifts farther away. The Earth slowly spins more gently. A long, quiet exchange written in gravity and time. There's something deeply calm in this kind of change. No sudden breaks, no abrupt shifts, only gradual adjustment, like a clock that softens its ticking over millennia. Far beneath coastal cliffs, waves carve stone with patient repetition. Each impact is small, almost insignificant. Yet over centuries, entire shorelines transform. Rock becomes sand, cliffs become caves, edges become curves. The ocean does not rush. It simply continues. And continuation is enough. Our next calm science fact is this. The sun is gradually becoming brighter over its lifetime. As it fuses hydrogen into helium, its internal structure changes. Very slowly, its energy output increases. This means that Earth receives slightly more energy today than it did billions of years ago. The change is extremely subtle, but over immense spans of time, it becomes significant. Long before the sun reaches its final stages, this gradual brightening will reshape planetary conditions. Yet even this transformation unfolds gently. Stellar evolution is not sudden destruction. It is a long sequence of quiet adjustments, a star changing its behavior over billions of years, like a flame that slowly shifts its intensity rather than flickering out. There is a softness in that image. Even the sun evolves without urgency. Our next calm science fact is this. Galaxies can collide without stars crashing into one another. Because space is so vast, direct stellar collisions are extremely rare during galactic mergers. Instead, gravity reshapes orbits. Stars are redistributed. Gas clouds interact and compress, often triggering new waves of star formation. Two galaxies passing through each other is less like a violent impact and more like an intricate gravitational dance. A slow reweaving of structure. Shapes stretch, arms distort, new patterns emerge, and over time, a new galaxy forms from the interaction. Change occurs on a scale so large that it feels almost still. Far above quiet oceans, storms gather and dissolve across vast distances. Cloud systems move slowly across the planet. Seen from space, they resemble swirling patterns of white against blue, dynamic yet gentle, powerful yet gradual. The Earth itself participates in similar slow transformations. Our next calm science fact is this. The speed of light is finite. Nothing carrying information or energy can travel faster than light in a vacuum. This limitation shapes the structure of the universe. It defines how we see distant objects. It determines what can influence what. It creates a natural delay between events and observation. In a sense, the universe is always slightly out of sync with itself from any given point of view. We never see the universe as it is right now everywhere, only as it was when the light left. This delay creates a layered reality. Different distances correspond to different times. The sky is a mosaic of history, near and far, recent and ancient, all visible at once. There is something quietly poetic in that arrangement. The present is not a single image. It is a collection of moments arriving together. Far beneath clear mountain skies, echoes sometimes travel across valleys. A sound carried by air may arrive seconds later than it was produced. Even on Earth, delay is part of experience. The universe extends this principle across billions of years. Our next calm science fact is this: some regions of space are so empty that a single atom may be separated from another by enormous distances. These are among the closest approximations to true emptiness known in nature. And yet, even there, the fabric of space-time persists. Gravity still operates. Light still travels. Quantum fields still exist. Nothingness, in a pure philosophical sense, does not appear to exist in the physical universe. Even emptiness has structure. Even void has properties. This realization can feel profound, not because it adds something new, but because it reveals that absence is never absolute. There is always something, even if that something is extremely subtle. Far across quiet deserts, wind occasionally lifts dust into the air. Particles drift, then settle, then drift again. The landscape appears still, yet it is always interacting with unseen forces. Our next calm science fact is this: the universe may contain far more dark matter than ordinary matter. Dark matter does not emit, absorb, or reflect light in ways we can easily detect. Yet its gravitational influence shapes galaxies. It helps hold them together. Without it, many cosmic structures would behave differently. Though invisible, it plays a crucial role in the architecture of the universe. This invites a gentle reflection. What is unseen is not unimportant. Some of the most influential aspects of reality are known only through their effects. Gravity itself cannot be seen, yet it governs motion across the cosmos. Air cannot be seen, yet it sustains life. Time cannot be seen, yet it shapes everything. Our understanding of existence is often indirect, built from traces, from influences, from patterns. Far beneath still lakes, submerged forests sometimes remain preserved for long periods. Trees standing in water, silent, motionless, yet still part of a living ecosystem above and below. Nature holds many hidden layers. Our next calm science fact is this: the universe is still cooling. As it expands, energy spreads out more thinly. Temperatures across cosmic scales gradually decrease. Over extremely long periods, the universe will continue trending toward lower and lower energy states. This is sometimes described as a movement toward a colder, quieter cosmos. But it is important to understand this not as an ending in the familiar sense. Rather, it is a long evolution of conditions, change without urgency, transformation without drama. The universe does not rush toward conclusions. It simply continues unfolding. Far across frozen landscapes, ice forms intricate patterns on glass and stone. Each pattern unique, each shape temporary, each one forming slowly under gentle conditions. Beauty emerges even in coldness. Our next calm science fact is this: Milky Way is surrounded by many smaller satellite galaxies. These small galaxies orbit our own, slowly influenced by its gravity. Over time, some will be absorbed into the Milky Way. Others will continue their distant paths. This process is ongoing, a quiet interaction between structures separated by vast space. It is easy to imagine galaxies as isolated islands, but in reality, they are part of a broader gravitational community, a network of interactions stretching across light years. The universe is not composed of solitary objects. It is composed of relationships, and those relationships evolve slowly over time. As this portion of our journey continues, imagine a night sky so clear that every visible star appears suspended in perfect silence. No wind, no sound, only light, each star a distant sun, each one separated by distances so large they defy intuition. And yet together, they form a sky that feels unified, a single dome of scattered brilliance. The darkness between them is not empty. It is space through which all those lights travel. It is the stage on which the universe unfolds. And in that vast and patient darkness, everything continues, quietly, steadily,